Aloha, Mea Ananda here, Gentle Feather Institute, and welcome to my rainforest garden and wanting to share just a few thoughts with you before the rain comes. There's an ominous cloud over in that direction, so let's see what happens. But I want to introduce you to a new segment I am calling Grief Mythbusters, and a big underpinning of Gentle Feather is teaching the world about grief, really outing grief, outing death, and teaching those of us who maybe are not sitting in deep grief, but know someone who is, teaching you, guiding you on how to really hold space for that person, things to say, not to say, to really understand where they are as your friend. Because often when we are in deep grief, it's not like we want to get in a discussion 24 times a day about it. So that is what we do here to help to guide you along this journey. So today's Mythbuster is this phrase. Maybe you've heard this, or maybe you've said it yourself. For example, oh, poor Sally. She never really bounced back after the death of her husband. And no, she never really was herself again. How many of you have heard that, or maybe have said that about someone else? So let's break that apart, all right? First of all, there is no getting over grief, no getting over any kind of grief. But if you have lost a life partner of 30, 40, 50 years, there is no getting over that. Grief is not something you push the fast forward. Often when I hear from my grief counseling clients, how long is this going to last? And I say, this is your new journey. The journey of grief is really learning how to walk with grief besides your side, besides you. It's making space for grief. It's understanding that there is no fast forwarding, that there is no getting over it or jumping over it or getting back to yourself. That's the other misconception in the second part of this expression. She never really was herself again. No, she wasn't, and she's not going to be, or he. That person who has lost someone, and in this example, a life partner, they are never going to be themselves again. And that is also the journey of grief. And what we work with here at Gentle Feather is that graceful letting go, with love and compassion and patience of the you, of the life that was. There is no getting back to that space because you are no longer that person. The you, the person that reflected you in this world, that is no longer here, that reflection is gone. And maybe the hat you wore, wife, mother, partner, niece, uncle, whatever it was, that title has shifted, hasn't it? So no, you're never going to be that person again. And that is such a bitter pill to swallow. I was just remembering trying to bring forth a personal story, but after my husband passed, it is the detangling of that life that you had. It is the graceful separation of the identity you held in that space and the loving birth of a new one. And that is no easy undertaking. It is no instant undertaking either. Everyone has their different grief journeys, and everyone, depending on what star sign and what energy you are, reacts in different ways. But still, there is always that grief underneath. No matter how you encapsulate it, how you are approaching your journey, there is still the essence of grief. And in order to move through the journey and not just sit still in that one place, there needs to be that looking at that life that was and honoring it and gracefully letting it go. And that is not easy. That is not easy. So poor Sally, who's over here in her state of deep grief, who has just lost her life partner and feels like her heart is being ripped out. No, she's not herself again. And no, she's not ever going to feel herself again. So let's really think carefully when we're using expressions such as those, or just tossing them out, because those of us who are in grief, what it does is gives us false expectations about the journey. You know, society wants everything to be rosy and glory, doesn't it? You know, we want everyone to be super happy. Um, that's not the space of grief, and that's not really the space of life. Life is ups and downs and lessons and journeys, and the journey of grief is that process of gracefully letting go. So if you know someone who has lost their life partner or someone so very, very special to them, evaluating them and seeing where they are from your eyes and your vantage point is maybe not the kindest way to go. You know, we want to simply hold space for Sally over here, hold space for her journey, and that means holding space. Another video, another lesson, so don't want to go too in depth in this because this is such a big thing, especially in my hospice work. It is all about holding space for that person. But that means checking your personality, checking your opinions and your judgment at the door. And you simply show up for Sally and you listen. You listen. You don't ask her what she wants because Sally's never going to tell you what she wants. Truly what she wants is her husband back. So it's just offering kindnesses to her. You know, I brought you some banana bread today. You know, just letting you know I'm thinking of you. I love you. Even a quick little text, thinking of you. Just to make Sally feel visible. Because grief, with that extreme, rips you of everything that you knew, everything that you felt, that you identified about yourself, and you're sitting in this raw shard of emotion with that person who mirrored you not reflecting anymore. And it is truly a challenging and lonely place. So just seeing her as the beautiful person, beautiful being of light that she is, offers her some comfort along her journey. So I'm Maya Ananda, and that's episode 1 of Grief Mythbusters, which is really hard to say. By the way, I might have to change the title. But if you know a Sally, I encourage you to just send her some love today, or him. Send some kindness. Open your heart and be there for that person. And if it's you that are in this space, know that we at Gentle Feather are here for you, and we are swimming in these waters together. So I'm Maya Ananda, Gentle Feather Institute. The rain has held off, but you never know in a rainforest. Wishing you peace and love for your day. Aloha.